Hello everybody, welcome back to the Golden Sky. Today it is Tuesday the 7th of October 2025. Yes, you know what that means, it's a video on a Tuesday and we've got no game tonight, so that means it's Tactical Tuesday, back in action. We're going to take a look today at the Chelsea game from the weekend and look at what basically went wrong for Liverpool and a few things that maybe went okay. We're going to get into all that. We've got pictures of the game to go through as always, and we're going to first start off with a little look at the board. But before we get started today, guys, just want to say, if you're joining me here on YouTube, thank you very, very much. Drop a like on the video, comment away what you think of the game as well. Now you've had a few days to digest it. I'm also going to make a video, hopefully over the international break, answering your guys' questions about Liverpool, about the Premier League, about anything like that, or any comments you might have. So send them to the comments below. Let me know you want me to use them in the video, and I'll talk through anything you guys think or want me to talk about in that video coming up. We have a bit of time to do that. If you listen on the podcast, you can do so as well. You can comment on the podcast, or you can come over to Liverpool, to YouTube and do it there as well. So, yes, that's the housekeeping out of the way. Guys, it's been a tough few days, hasn't it, since the game? It's been a tough week for Liverpool fans. I mean, I know for me personally, I've been getting bantered, and it's unusual. I don't know what to do about it. I don't know what to do. I've had a full year, basically, of not being bantered, not being taken the mick out of, winning the league smoothly last year. Things were looking great. You know, I go to work on Monday. I've got United fans winding me up. It's weird. What the hell? Everton fans are like winding me up. You know, and they lost as well, but they're still winding me up. I've just been for my haircut. I had the barber winding me up, telling me he's a United fan. I've got him winding me up. I can't escape it. I don't know what to do. It's unusual. It's an unusual feeling. It's not a good feeling. And yeah, I was trying to explain to him what I think is going wrong, and it's difficult. So let's get into it. Let's look at all the pictures. Let's first go to the board, though, and have a look at something Carragher pointed out on Sky. Okay, so to start off today, wanted to look at this. Got the two teams set up, kind of how they set up in the game. And this is something that Carragher looked at on Sky. Did a little bit of analysis of the game and what he thought went wrong for us. And just set the team up in, this is how Chelsea scored their first goal, this sort of move. And we'll look at it in the pictures soon so you can get a good visualization of it. But I just wanted to point it out first. So the point Carragher has been making so far this season is that Liverpool like to have a spare man at the back at all times. So if Chelsea played two up front, he's been saying, you know, let's say they split the strikers like this. He's been saying we'd have a centre-back, followed them, so then we've got three against their two. In this situation, they just had João Pedro up front, so we have just the two centre-backs against the one striker. This is not unnecessarily unusual practice from a football team. But he's really making that a big talking point this season. We like to have this spare man. And he made it clear that means there's a spare man for Chelsea somewhere, which turns out to be Caicedo. And I'll show you this analysis he does soon. I agree with him in that in this goal, we've got a massive problem. The ball goes to Caicedo. Enzo comes here with Gravenberch. And as we saw, McAllister can't jump and they get through. And Caicedo, well, actually the ball goes to Gusto. McAllister tries to jump and Caicedo gets to and has the shot and scores. So I wanted to look at how the Liverpool fix this, first of all, to start the video. What is it that Liverpool are doing in their defensive shape that isn't working, that Carragher is talking about so much? Well, I don't think it's an issue at all to have an extra man at the back, especially if they're only playing one player up front. You would never play a formation that looks like this. I mean, this is not a normal football formation. The only time you'd play three at the back is if your centre-backs were narrow and then you had wing-backs like this. That's obviously not how Liverpool play. We play with four at the back. So it's normal to have this sort of setup at the back. The problem I think we had is that whilst we tried to defend a little bit in a 4-4-2, which is, again, pretty normal standard practice, it was sort of this situation, is that we allow Salah these days, and last season this was the case too, to basically do, I don't want to say no defensive work, because he does do defensive work, but he doesn't run back like an industrial winger, okay? And Szoboszlai does that for him. But if we're pressing Szoboszlai as a striker, he can't, as amazing as an athlete he is, he can't press here and then here and then here. It's just not possible. So I think the spare man that Carragher keeps talking about, we should always be prioritising the spare man that gets left free to be as far away from our goal as possible. And I'll show that more in a second. I think we should be prioritising the team shape more than this sort of, stay in your setup and that's how you defend with your man type way of playing. You can go man to man. We've seen that work at the top level where maybe if everybody stepped on like this, and we played man to man really tight all over the pitch, that works as well. But it's a bit risky, if a pass comes out, your whole team gets pulled out of position. I think we can prioritize just being a little bit more defensively sound. So then if the ball does go in here, we have our defensive base to protect us rather than what we got to. And this will all make a bit more sense when we look at some photos. So what I want to do is go straight into the photos today of the game and talk through this concept a little bit more and see if I can explain it a little bit better than maybe we just have done. So let's go do that now. All right, so this is what I was just talking about with Chelsea's setup and Liverpool's setup. This is the first goal for Chelsea, so not that far into the game. And what you see is, like we said, we've got the spare man at the back, is what Carragher pointed out on Monday night. I don't even know if it was Monday Night Football. He just pointed out on Sky. But this is not unusual. I don't really think this is a talking point, really. I think the talking point for me is here in the middle of the pitch. And we've been talking about this on this channel for basically the whole season. Liverpool have a tendency to leave massive gaps in the middle of the pitch where there'll just be none of our players. This happens both when we're attacking and when we're defending. This is not normal. This is bad shape. This is just cut and dry, not a normal way to play football, to leave the middle of the pitch so open. And I think the problem that we have here is not necessarily that we're in this 4-4-2. You see Isak and Szoboszlai are sort of pressing the centre-backs, and then we have the resemblance of a 4-4-2. But do you see how we've just drawn that line? This is not a problem of where Salah is stood. For me, this is a problem with Gravenberch doing one thing and McAllister doing a totally different thing. Let me explain that a little bit more. So, if you moved Gravenberch 10 yards further back and he was stood here with McAllister, even if this ball goes to Gusto in here or goes to Caicedo in here, let's imagine the referee is where Gravenberch is. There's no danger. They can't go anywhere, Chelsea. But because he has gone man-to-man with Enzo, Enzo has dragged him right out of his position. So for me, McAllister then, if Gravenberch is this tight, also has to be this tight. Szoboszlai's blocking this passing lane, so that's fine. McAllister has to be touch tight. So you can choose to blame whoever you want. You can blame Gravenberch for vacating this giant area of the pitch. Or you can blame McAllister for being too slow to press his man. But the point is that you should take away is they're not in sync, they're not in rhythm, and that's basically how you can sum up our entire play, both on attack and in defence. We are not in rhythm, we are not in sync as a team. It is very much individual for Liverpool at the minute. So what happens? Well, Badiashile plays the ball to Gusto, and at this point McAllister notices he's too late. Okay, he's never going to get to this ball, so he stops even bothering trying to press it, and he tries to jump onto Caicedo. Okay, he's too late to that one as well. That's a fault for McAllister, who's off the pace completely to start this season. He just is. But look again, if Gravenberch was here, okay, even if Caicedo turns McAllister, he's not bearing down on the defence. Just imagine Fabinho was playing. This is Fabinho territory right here, yeah? He'd be prowling around like a grizzly bear, ready to just snap somebody in half. He would. But because we're not playing with a number 6, a defensive midfielder, a holding midfielder as such this season, this is an ocean of space where there's no Liverpool players in a really dangerous area. Chelsea aren't even playing with a number 10. Can you imagine if they were? You're going to see this even more clearly soon. Caicedo obviously advances. Look, he could shoot here. Okay, this isn't even when he shoots. He could shoot here. Look at the Chelsea players. in between our midfield and our defence. You got Garnacho, Cucurella, you've got João Pedro's making a run, Caicedo number 4, Gusto number 5, and Pedro Neto number 6. Over half of Chelsea's outfield players are in between our defensive line and what's left of our midfield from a couple of passes. That is insane. That is just insane. Caicedo runs forward, no one challenges him. And at a certain point, you have to engage, and we're too late to engage, so I want to criticise the defenders a little bit too. What I want to say, just going back to this one, when Caicedo fakes to shoot here, you see where he actually shoots, he's nearly on the edge of the D. When he fakes to shoot here, look how far he's got to travel still before he shoots. Everyone's backing off. Now, I understand Konate has to back off, he's got João Pedro right on him. For me, Van Dijk should go no further back than where he is now. Now, I'm not going to tell Virgil van Dijk how to defend, but I think he should engage from this point, okay? Now, he's worried the whole time about Gusto making this run in here. So for me then, it's down to Kerkez to see the immediate danger. Where is the immediate danger? Well, it's not really this pass out here to Pedro Neto. If the ball goes out there, we defend that ball when it goes out there. The more present danger is this fella whacking one in the net, completely unchallenged. So he has to get narrow for me, close this gap. Don't allow Gusto to get in here. Block this, like provide a little block here. So Gusto, if he does run, can't get through. Then Van Dijk is able to push the ball, maybe stop the shot. You see here, Gusto's got in this gap. Van Dijk's had to track it the whole way. They take the shot, they score the goal. But if we force the ball out here, we can maybe defend the cross. We don't do that. We're too slow, we're off the pace, and our out of possession play is not good enough. And this is what Carragher used on Sky. So he pointed out all our players marking their man. He did this to show everybody and then who is left spare. So you can see pretty clearly who he's put the arrows near, and then you can see even clearer on this next screenshot who he highlights as the spare man, Caicedo. It's pretty eye-opening on this one, how free he is. I mean, if I draw sort of around all the Liverpool players just to make it even more obvious, this is an insane amount of space to leave in the middle of the pitch. The person I really blame at first is Gravenberch, I think, personally, because he has no business for me leaving this area to go in here to chase Enzo. I think it's brilliant from Enzo. I think he knows exactly what he's doing. I think Chelsea have worked on this to bring him out of position, maybe knowing he'll follow him, leaving all this space. Because Gusto comes short, Caicedo holds his position, the ball goes in, and you see they just simply bounce it off. And look at the space they're in. Look where Gravenberch is, he's out of the game. The thing that I wanted to point out, which is just crazy on this screenshot, is how free the Chelsea players are and how easy it was to get there. Just look at Cucurella, okay? He's the left back. So going back to this, Salah, Carragher has drawn, should be with Cucurella, but Salah is just ball watching because Salah doesn't run back. Mo Salah is never going to run back into here. He's never going to run here. The whole point is we leave him up front. So then if we get a counter-attack, he's there. Conserves his energy. What should happen and what happened last year is Szoboszlai would be the one coming in here and Gravenberch would be 10 yards back here. But this is not the case. If Gusto didn't have Caicedo here, he could pass it to Cucurella in loads and loads of space. And look, Bradley is telling somebody, please help me. He's here. And Bradley can't go in here because Garnacho is then in loads of space. It's just all wrong. None of it makes sense, really. To leave this area free is just astounding. It is just not in any way a cohesive, sustainable way to defend and play football. And they cut through us. So then Liverpool get the ball a little bit later on. First half, trying to make stuff happen, trying to get back in the game. Van Dijk has the ball, and what we see is a rare pass into midfield in the middle of the pitch. So Szoboszlai makes himself available for the ball. You see he's asking for it. Van Dijk gives him the ball. Szoboszlai gets on it. Now, I left this in to show the lack of quality that we have at the minute, which is another problem. It's not even a tactical problem, really. This could be put in any video. This is just a problem with Liverpool, with the individuals, lack of care, lack of, trust in one another. Just lack of confidence, maybe. Look where Szoboszlai's pass goes. So He's trying to bounce this back to Gravenberch. Maybe, maybe he could take a touch, maybe sweep it around the corner, something like that. Look where it goes. Look. He's passed it here. It's insane, really, isn't it? Look at Kirk as he's ready to bomb forward. He can't now because Szoboszlai gave the ball away and just so cheaply, and Gusto gets on it. Who's he even trying to pass it to going here? Like, there's nobody around. Luckily, Gusto gives us the ball back straight away. Kirkers intercepts, and we can get an attack. It goes back to Szoboszlai, and this time he does better. Gives it over to Gakpo, who I thought played well in this game, to be honest, until the last 10 minutes. Kirk has made a good run. We're seeing that underlap again. We see this a lot from Liverpool this season. It's less of runs out here from Kirkes, more underlapping. He does do exactly that. Gakpo does really well. Excellent timing on the pass. This is one of our best moves of the first half. Great timing through to Kirkes. Great run from Kirkes. And when you see this here, it's painful to look at, really. Why he doesn't shoot, I don't think I'll ever understand. Like, look where he is, guys. It's on his left foot. He's got to level this at the goal. What he tries to do is cut it across for Salah. And it's funny because this is basically exactly how Chelsea scored their winning goal. The ball goes through like this. Enzo Fernandez passes it to Cucurella, who's made an underlapping run. They square it across, and Esteval puts it in at the back post. But what you see is Cucurella is switched right on. He's ready to chase Salah. Badia Shields there. And I think Kirk has actually placed this ball so bad that Chelsea just cut it out without any problem. He should have shot. We should have scored. Next one now. Chelsea on the ball at the back. You see Liverpool set up again. We have very similar. Gravenberch is tight to Endo. McAllister is near nobody. And then we have the 4-4-2. Something. It's a bit of a 4-4-2. Salah not concerned with Cucurella at all. Not even looking at him. Only looking at the ball, but not doing anything here. He's not doing anything. Reece James has sort of ventured forward to now give us even more problems. And look, the ball goes in. McAllister actually makes a really good play. Wins the ball. Comes from here. Sniffs out the pass. Nicks it. Off João Pedro's bounce. Wins it back. Really good. We get away. This is one of our only successful counter-attacking moves of the game. Szoboszlai wins it. We're in transition. Goes to Salah. One of the best things he did this game. Probably the only good thing he did. Lovely outside of the foot pass. I mean, really, at the highest quality, and that's what's so frustrating, is where's this quality 99% of the game. Puts in a brilliant ball. Isak gets on his head. You know, he should maybe get this on, well, he should get this on target. He should do better with it. Should maybe score. We don't score. We miss. But that's much better from us, where if we go back to where we were, even though the distances are big, we protect well. We protect better. We don't allow the ball to be dropped into a hole. You can see there's no massive hole in the middle of the pitch. This is a fine distance between our players. When the ball comes in, look how compact we are. Look how tight. We've got players around the ball. We've got players around, tight to men. Look, nobody's free. Everyone's really tight. There's no way Chelsea get out here. It's much better defending. So, now we come into the second half. Okay, we've gone straight to the second half of the game because this is when things really just started to go crazy for both teams. We finally brought Florian Wirtz on, who should have started this game. I'll die on that hill. He should have started, and this is exactly the reason why. So, again, Gakpo has the ball. We're now attacking Chelsea's defence. Comes to Wirtz. Literally first touch of the game. Plays an incisive pass. Gets Gakpo running down on the defenders. First touch of the game. Okay. Gakpo gets it. Drives forward. Second touch of the game for Wirtz. Touch number 2. First one, play Gakpo in. Second one, receive the ball here. And he's already seen Salah, and he does some sort of spinning back heel flick. It's a brilliant pass. And anybody saying that this guy is a problem for Liverpool, I agree. He hasn't hit the ground running. He has to do better. I agree with all that. But he is by no means the problem whatsoever. Okay? Because of things like this. He puts the ball through to Salah in 30 seconds of the second half. He should score. He should get it on target. He hits it wide. All right, more from the second half of the game. And more good stuff from Liverpool. Pushing for a goal. Actually did okay in this period of the game, to be honest. And I think people generally have over exaggerated how bad we actually were in this game. We were really poor, absolutely, but we did have spells where we were the better side. That's also true. Those things don't have to be mutually exclusive. McAllister here just knocks the ball long. It's nothing complex. Knocks the ball long for Salah, and he gets in. And this is more where I want to analyse Salah and his play at the minute, because he has been so poor this season. And this game, it was eye-opening how bad he was, really. And this is an example of where he's not at his best, because if he was, he'd kill Chelsea here, no doubt about it. He has Badiashile one-on-one, who's not a great defender in itself, and he's also a centre-back. Salah cooks centre-backs like this on the wing. He's too agile, he's too quick. Even though if they know what he's going to do, he can still do it. You've got Wirtz bearing down, you've got Gakpo bearing down. It's a really good counter-attacking opportunity we've got. Salah gets to here. You see, he's rinsed Badiashile. That was easy for him. This guy's not agile enough. He's too big. He can't turn the same way Salah can. But this is where we see Salah not at his best. If he's at his best like he was last season, probably the best season we've seen from him, competing with that first season when he scored everything, I think he looks at Gakpo here, who's completely free at this back post. I mean, Reece James is stuck on Isak. Achiampong's got Wirtz in his sights. And he just lofts this ball over. In fact, let me draw that line a little bit better. It's kind of hard to draw. Lofts it a little bit over the top. Gakpo meets it. We score. But he's got no intention to do that. This is maybe him wanting a goal. We know he's the type of player who always wants to score, but he's not what I would call a selfish player. He likes to score more than anything else in the world, but his assist numbers show that he's not a player who doesn't pass the ball if the opportunity is there. He got nearly 20 assists last season in the Premier League. Like, this is not a player who hogs the ball. I think he's desperate to score because I think he senses himself that he's maybe out of form a little bit. So he comes inside and he tries to aim for that far corner. Now, it's a good chance. He's created a good chance, but I think you can see sort of the wastefulness of it by how far offside our players are. All three of them have made a run. None of them have got the ball. And you see them all just stood offside because they've had to sprint forward and not get any reward. It's a key sign that what our timing on attacks is not right. It's not quite there. Salah hits this, and let's play a game of spot the ball if you haven't already. The ball's here. The goal, I'll just draw around it in case you weren't sure. This is not very close. I don't know a lot, but I know one thing. This isn't all that close to the goal. And Salah, off balance, on the floor. It's not good, guys. And now we see Chelsea on the attack. So the other side of the pitch now. So the game became super end-to-end. It became too end-to-end. It was very much basketball-like, exactly like Carragher said as well. Give him his credit. He nailed that one. This is basketball. This is not how we should be playing games. Against this Chelsea team, we should be trying to control it. Cucurella gives the ball to Garnacho. Garnacho now one-on-one with Szoboszlai, and it doesn't matter who plays right back for us, okay? Szoboszlai's at right back here. It doesn't matter who plays, okay? This could be Conor Bradley. This could be Szoboszlai. This could be Frimpong. This could be Trent Alexander-Arnold. This could be Maicon. This could be Dani Alves. This could be Danny Dyer. It doesn't matter who's out at right back. They can't defend this on their own. And I'll show you why. It's impossible. Garnacho has the ball, and Cucurella comes right round him for the overlap. And Szoboszlai is completely left on his own. Jones does nothing. He doesn't get out to Cucurella. Gravenberch is playing centre-back, so not really his job. And Salah, of course, is not back because that's not where he should be. What would normally happen here is we'd have a right back here, and we'd have Szoboszlai tracking this player. Okay? That would be our setup from last season, while Salah stays up front, ready to counter-attack when we win the ball and score goals for us. Jones doesn't have the running power that Szoboszlai does to match this run of Cucurella. Doesn't matter who Szoboszlai is, he's never going to be able to defend this 2v1. They do the simple overlap. Cucurella gets right to the byline. Szoboszlai can't recover. They cross the ball in. And Neto gets the free header at the back post. And luckily, Robbo blocks it with his face. And I mean luckily, because this could have easily been a goal. It's a warning. Okay, that left side of the pitch where our centre mid is playing right back and our centre mid is playing centre back, it's another warning. But here's the fruits of our labour, playing him there. And I'm a bit gutted that the highlight video that I watched to get this, to get these pictures, didn't show the most important part of this in my eyes. So I'm going to point it out for you anyway, and that's Alexander Isak in this goal. His work to bring Szoboszlai into the game here is very, very simple, but it is absolutely vital to us scoring this goal. So the centre back for Chelsea, I believe this is Hato at this point, it might still be Achampong, has come all the way out of his position here to track Isak, because Chelsea are very, very aggressive man to man. Most parts of the pitch. But Isak has dropped really, really deep, drawn him out, and we've been brave, passed him the ball, and like a wall, like we said in the preview, he bounced the ball to Szoboszlai, and we just completely bypass all of these Chelsea players in one simple movement. Szoboszlai can then run all the way out the pitch before he gives it to Salah. You see how far at the pitch we are now. And now, look, we have the 2v1. Now, Cucurella is left on his own. He's telling Garnacho, you can see he's pointing, come on, we need you. Garnacho, nowhere near. Getting back. Doesn't matter again who plays left back. It could be anybody. They can't defend this. You can't defend 2v1 on the wing consistently. It doesn't matter who you are. So Garnacho tries to get back. He doesn't quite. Cucurella's had to drop off, and Salah just knocks it through to Szoboszlai, who gets right to the byline. Very, very similar move to the one Chelsea just had with Cucurella and Pedro Neto. This time Szoboszlai dinks it in. Isak makes something of it. Gakpo gets on it and scores. Next one then, again, Liverpool here on the ball. Gravenberch this time, who helped us a lot progressively with the ball. And the reason why is because whilst he isn't the most amazing passer as a midfielder, maybe, and I think that's one of his weaknesses, is his passing, especially forwards as a midfielder. As a centre-back, he is top class, because the level that you need to be is much lower. He has more time on the ball. He has more options in front of him. And compared to Konate, it is a little bit like running 100 metres against a newborn baby. He's going to win, at least at this point in time. So Wirtz, you see, this is why he should be playing. Creates chances, wanting the ball, asking for it, showing for it. Gravenberch gives him it. Straight away, you see, receiving it on the back foot. Again, any young footballers watching, attacking midfielders, centre midfielders, even strikers, receive the ball on your back foot on the half turn, opens up the whole game in one movement. No one can come back and challenge him. And in the same movement, he knocks this ball through to Salah. Salah goes through, and now look, again, super dangerous area, super dangerous situation. We've got Isak bearing down on goal, we've got Gakpo coming in. Now, Salah, for me, in top form, again, does one of two things here. Either what he tries to do is cut inside and score, or outside of the foot to Gakpo. I guess this is three things, or pass it to another player to score, is what the second thing would be, which would be outside of the foot to Gakpo, which we saw a lot last year, outside the foot through passes, or even he could go outside the foot or whatever, over the top of all of these into Isak's path. Okay, you'll see it more in this one. He waits and waits. Reece James has to back off. He now cuts inside. His run is really good to this point. He's got to the exact right position. Now, I think here, can he slide this ball to Isak for a goal? I think yes. I think he can. If he doesn't get his head up, look at his head. Look, he's not even looking. He's not concerned. This is Salah through and through. This will never change, okay? This is just how he is. This is why he's been so successful, why he's scored so many goals. But I just wonder if last year he would have passed this ball, if his confidence was high, if we were hitting the levels that he is and we were at the minute. But anyway, he has the shot. Again, the ball goes absolutely nowhere near. I don't even know if I left it in. I didn't. The ball goes nowhere near the goal. We're back on the other end now. You see how end-to-end this game became? It was just pretty ridiculous, really. We're back on the other end. You see Chelsea attacking again. It's the exact same situation as we saw before. 2v1 against Szoboszlai. Jones not helping him out enough. Not doing anything here. He's not a centre-back. I don't know why he stood here. Gravenberch has got this situation completely fine. There's only one striker, and he stood holding Van Dijk's hand. So there's no need whatsoever to have these two players here. One of them has to get out. They don't get out. I mean, it's just a simple overlap. Jones is nowhere to be seen. They get through again. We get very, very lucky. The ball comes across the face. Gravenberch taps it with his toe, and somehow it doesn't go in. It's another warning on that left side. I don't know how Slot isn't seeing this type of thing to move him away from right back. Put a right back there and put him in the middle to help with this. Getting 2v1'd at the fullback is not a recipe for success, let me tell you that. Okay, now Chelsea have the ball again. Next one, coming into Lavia. They get the ball wide to Estevao, and I just want to look at Jones again here. Not to like rag on Jones, but the positioning again, this is just nothing. This is just not tight enough. The pressure on the ball, or lack thereof, from us at this crucial stage of the game is pretty astounding. And this is where our players just look tactically, not even tactically, sorry, look, nothing to do with tactics, just look tired. Like, from the moment the game kicks off, I don't really understand. Comes to Lavia, comes over to Estevao, and this is another warning yet again for Liverpool. Andy Robbo now. Now, he's fully aware Estevao might try and take him on, so he gives him a yard. I get it, okay? But this is unacceptable. It's just unacceptable. The complete lack of any sort of pressure on the ball to allow him to just get it on his favoured foot and whip a ball in, a really dangerous ball, by the way, is unbelievable. He should be 5 yards tighter right on him, so then he can't have all the time in the world to pick his pass, pick his cross, get his head up. It's amazing how lackadaisical we were, how the lack of intensity we had. Yeah, and look, at the back post, this is where the ball's going to go. This is another problem with playing Szoboszlai right back. That's something we've really highlighted in today's video. This does not work. It might work sometimes, and it did work earlier in the season, but this is not a way to play this season. This is just, he needs to stop doing this. Because he doesn't know how to play right back, and you see it here. He's completely ball watching. He has no idea that Enzo Fernandez is on his back, and you can see that here. He's way too late to react. I don't blame Szoboszlai at all for this, by the way. Enzo Fernandez heads the ball. It hits the post. They should score. We should have lost then. That was a massive warning. Okay, how many have we already had? But we don't learn from our mistakes, and we get punished later in the game. I did leave this one in as well, to show again the positioning. Just look at the distance. These three players, no one anywhere near Estevao. Look at the time he has to get his crossing under no pressure. Enzo completely free at the back post. Szoboszlai switched off. They almost score, but eventually they do score, and that happens right here. So this time it's Gittins on the ball, and again, what we're about to see is an outnumbering situation on the left wing. You see here, we have Salah and Cucurella. You see here, we have Cucurella. Now, again, I pointed this out enough. Problem. We brought Endo on, I think, to try and, the more I've thought about it, I think that was to try and help in this channel. I think that was Slot's move. Get Endo over here, help out. It didn't help at all. Gittins rolls the ball to Enzo. Just look at the space Enzo has as well. Look, he's able, this is the last minute of the game, to take a touch on the edge of the box and set himself. As soon as he touches this ball, he should be smashed. He should be pressure on him. He should be, you know, unable to do what he does, which is take a little touch, have a little dribble. And you see Cucurella, look at him here, he's making this run. Okay, he wants the ball from Enzo. He wants to have the ball rolled through here like this to him, but he doesn't get it. And look, he's having to come back. He's walking back from offside. And look at Gravenberch. You can just see Gravenberch is pointing. Gravenberch is saying, look, the ball's going to go to Cucurella. I think he's telling Endo. Now, he's not a centre-back, so I don't really blame him. But for me, he has to pick up Cucurella. Van Dijk's got Guiu. He has to pick up Cucurella. He doesn't do it. We switch off. The ball comes through. We don't cut out the cross. Isn't this a similar situation to the one we saw Carragher in? But this time, Robbo is too late. And we'll look at why maybe in a second. But he's too late. The ball comes across. Estevao can knock it in the net. and we lose the game. But I did want to look at Robbo. So Carragher said that he wondered if Robbo maybe had picked up an injury or a knock at the time, because look at him here, right? Hands on his knees. Okay, not even looking at the ball. This is an unusual thing to do if you are in the last minute of the game and the ball is here in a really dangerous area. It's strange. And you see, when the ball comes across, he's too late to react. Esteval's already past him. But for me, Robbo has to be aware of this more and has to seal him off. And I thought he played well, Robbo, when he came on, but this is just a massive error. Again, we'll just go back to this one. Gravenberch for me has to pick up here. And both these two are just, we've got basically two defensive lines. It's just not good enough. No shape whatsoever. Esteval gets in, scores the goal that wins Chelsea the game, and gives Liverpool yet another defeat. Alright guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I do hope that you enjoyed very, very much. And if you did, please do drop a like on the video as well. That would really, really help me out. Comment away as well what you think. Remember to leave your comments in, asking any questions about the Premier League season so far. Anything that you think might be interesting for me to talk about Liverpool or any other team, please do leave it in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel as well. We're trying to get to 200 subscribers, so if we can get on the road there, like we already are, that would be really good if you could help me out that way. Hope you did enjoy looking at the tactics. I know it's tough to always look at a game when we lose, and to be honest, not too heavy on the tactical talk in today's video. A lot more individual, positional kind of sense. So I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you took something from it if you did watch. That's going to be it for today. I will make videos over the international break, so stay tuned for those. They'll hopefully keep you entertained in this lack of football, but enjoy the break from Liverpool. And I hope you all have a really good rest of your week until I next speak to you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon.